Tuning culture in Japan in the 90s and early 2000s was thriving. Many companies popped up and went, but some names live on eternally thanks to the likes of Gran Turismo and Forza Motorsport etching them into our minds as kids. Names like Mines, who I covered in their own video, Amuse and Spoon, to name but a few, have been on our screens for years now, which means a lot of their most popular or demonstrator models have become truly iconic. That's for those of us in the West anyway, of course. Those in the land of the rising sun have probably seen these cars on TV and in magazines and car shows for years before that. One name that was iconic for wild body kits but also for going on to make their own car is Tommy Kaira, and of course they tried their hands at the GC8 Impreza as well. On this episode of 427 Motorsports, it's time to have a quick look at the Tommy Kaira M20b. That bit again, where at the start I mentioned a thank you to everybody on the Patreon. I also want to say a thank you to everybody who goes into the comments, because usually you tell me I'm wrong, and that's the only way to learn. Information is really scarce on a lot of these things, but the good thing is there's people out there who have this knowledge and have this experience, and usually they'll chime in and, well, tell me I'm wrong. I like that. It's nice to learn more. I can't get everything right, and I will do as much as I can to find stuff out and do my own bit of research, but you know, it's hard to beat first-hand experience sometimes. So thank you so much to everybody who has watched, who has subscribed, who watches and doesn't subscribe. I don't really mind. Big thank you to everybody on the Patreon. I'll put the links to all this good stuff below. This is a short video, so I'll keep this short too. Have fun. Good luck. Founded in Kyoto in the mid-80s, interestingly Tommy Kaira actually started with tuning Mercedes models, beginning with the 190e. A video about Subarus talking about Mercedes. All we need now is a Volkswagen to make this the most 427 video ever. After a couple of years of this though, they decided just to work on their own domestic market, doing away with all that European stuff, specialising mainly in Nissan and Subaru cars and forming quite a relationship with the manufacturers. Kind of like Roof and Gambala in a way, Tommy Kaira would actually rename the cars as if they were their own. For example, the Skyline R34, their most recognisable model that wasn't actually their own, had the Tommy Kaira turtle on it, rather than the Nissan badge. They would go on to make their own two-seater sports car, but to be honest, that's been covered before in ways better than I could ever be bothered putting the research into, so go and watch that video instead. Anyway, back to the Impreza. Introduced the year after the Impreza came out in 1993, Tommy Kaira began to work the magic right away with the 4-door model. Based on the WRX, most of Tommy Kaira's work was aesthetic, to be honest, with some performance changes too. The special part about a Tommy Kaira was the quality. They did eke some more power out of it, but really you were getting it for the looks. It's a bit of a struggle to find anything about what they did performance wise, but from what I could see online, a custom Tommy Kaira ECU was used and a couple of other bolt-on modifications, and it came to around 290 horsepower. Although, when it comes to the wagons, I found a flyer that stated the wagon had slightly less power, and it also shows that it was available as a 4-speed auto. I can't imagine many people opted for that, mind you, but it was also possible to get both of them in a 2.2 litre as well if you had deep pockets. Front and rear body kit, a rather out there spoiler, some nice touches inside like bespoke gauges, which honestly, they're my favourite touch on anything. Custom gauges can be so classy. Alongside some badging and niceties. From what I can see, the bumpers changed a bit when the Impreza got facelifted also. The earlier cars, the fog lights are inset, and on the later ones, they stick out a bit. Even cooler is, like Subaru, they liked performance estates, making a run of apparently 400 units on the GF8 platform. Given the nature of tuner cars and custom builds, there's quite a bit of variations and different information online, and they changed the suit as the 2-door Impreza came out, facelifts and more. Some came with different steering wheels, some with different seats, and so on and so forth. The wheels though are especially cool. Tommy Kaira always seems to use variations of this same wheel, appearing on the M20Bs as well as their R models and even the elusive ZZ2 concept. And of course, probably my favourite part, is the name adorning the side. This was a staple of Tommy Kaira builds and of the modified car scene in general at the time. While sadly not a massive amount of info exists online about the M20b Imprezas, they're yet another cool footnote in the Impreza GC8 history and are only really remembered in small circles. They didn't even make it to a Gran Turismo game. Tommy Kaira still exists to this day, and I believe they're still looking into a way to make their dream come true, making their own vaporware supercar, the ZZ2, a reality, which now actually sits in a showroom in Tokyo. And for some reason, they sell NFTs on their website. I'm not even going to go into that one, I don't think. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this, subscribe for more. Check out our channel to see things about Mercedes being worked on, Subarus being worked on, more history videos, whatever you like. I've been Tomo. This is 47 Motorsports. Thank you so much. Good luck.